Season 7 is back, baby. And we're going to be covering the rest of the season, as we always do. Hi, this is John from TheUndercoverBrony.
Hi, I'm Teacups94, and man, have we got some new. It's a whole new season, a whole new fountain of memes. Holy crap! I gotta admit, season 1 was nice because the show's been out for what 7/10 of a decade, which is 3.5 of a no. Wait, what's 3 divided by? Which is 3 and 2/3. Yeah, it's been 3 and 2/3 of a decade, and we've had like no Celestia development, pretty much. But this one episode literally made up for all of that, as far as I'm concerned. This was easily the best episode Celestia has been in. That's not saying a lot, admittedly, but this was easily her best episode. Episode 2 was. Well, a funny story about episode 2, but I'll save that for episode 2. So,
and it's not Attack of the Clones; it's Attack of the Teacups.
He's got his notes. I've got something better. I got TV tropes. For instance, this episode had author saving throw. After 6 seasons of little to no character development, Celestia gets some much needed love in this episode. Not only does she give Twilight valuable advice about what to do with Starlight Glimmer, but she even admits that she went through a similar situation with Twilight.
I've already been seeing a meme of
Seriously.
her just like walking across the throne room, and it's just like concerned mother horse noises.
It's like, it was so funny, and like, because I always bought that Celestia and Twilight were close, but they more they more told it to us specifically through Twilight and Celestia sometimes, but really seeing Celestia explain it to her, I really now buy that that they're as tight as the show's been telling us. Discord was hilarious,
as always.
As far as I'm concerned, especially after the next episode, as far as I'm concerned, Starlight Glimmer and Trixie are going steady now, and it's just good all around. For a season premiere, I can already, admittedly, not as huge and big and crazy as one's past. I mean, in one they defeated a god, in the next one they defeated a god, in the third one they defeated another kind of sort of god, in another one the whole world was going to crap and they found a map and had their power stripped of them, in the next one they fought an evil cultist overlord, in the next one a baby was born, and there was like a big winter crazy storm of magic and stuff. And in this one, Starlight graduates. I was thinking of that scene from the end of the Evangelion show. Everyone's just clapping, and they're like, "Congratulations! Congratulations! Congratulations!"
So, this episode, admittedly, it's a little weird, since it was just a single episode, and this is the first time we've seen this in the show. Every other season opener has been a 2-parter, and this is the first one that hasn't. Thankfully, they more than made up for it with having 2 of the regular episodes put together, episode 1 and 2 respectively. But it took them 1 episode to do the season premiere, and I actually got to applaud them. They did a really dang good job on this one. So
I thought so too.
So starts off, and you know what? Why don't you take the reins? You haven't done that for a while.
Okay, so this episode starts out with as stated, Starlight Glimmer is going to be graduating, but before the episode credits properly roll, Twilight's trying to get the plan. She's talking about like, oh, I don't know what to happen. I didn't know what to do. I didn't even think of what would happen after she graduates. Spike's like, shouldn't you focus on getting the stuff ready? And she's like, yeah, don't worry, Pinkie Pie will cover that. And then Pinkie Pie randomly shows up, pulls like a string, and then all the tables and stuff fall from the rafters, and I'm thinking to myself,
That's how she gets her parties planned quick.
I seriously really do. I completely 100% agree with Twilight just being cool with Pinkie Pie setting that up in case there's ever a party at Twilight's house. I buy that 110%, and I'm okay with that. So
but I love at the beginning here, Spike comes up to Starlight and distracts her while Twilight's in the background making measurements and all this stuff. And I'm just like, Spike, you're best con man, because this is just freaking hysterical. You're doing a good job, buddy.
Yeah, for real. Seriously, Spike in these two episodes is like, it's like we're finally back to. This is one of those few shows where occasionally people like the first season characters of some characters, because this was old school Spike. He had the wit, he had the sarcasm, and I'm just like, yeah, you tell them, guy that beat L from Death Note. I forgot the character Kathy Westlook played there. All I know is that he beat Light Yagami. Point I'm trying to get across is Discord then is messing with Twilight's head as he does. When is Discord going to learn that? Except for, this is one of the few times it hasn't. Every time he does that to Twilight, it freaking backfires. I still love the idea of him being the one that busts her chops all the time, being like, a brony mark like me surrogate. But even this one, you're kind of just fishing. So he's like, dude, Twilight, what's your plan? And she's like, and then she's like, doesn't even know what to do. And so she talks to Princess Celestia, and she's like, Princess Celestia, what should I do? So and this was kind of cool. Twilight's going through these various scenarios on where she should send her, because right before the commercial break, she was like, well, when I got to this point, you sent me away, to Ponyville. And she's like, maybe I should send Starlight Glimmer away. And the places she tosses out make sense in theory. What were they? They were the I got this. They were the Changeling Kingdom. They were Dragon Badlands. And
the third one was, I believe, like Sunburst's house or something. But what's really nice is all through this, there's a giant party going on for the fact that, like, Thorax, Discord, Trixie, and Starlight all just, saved the day, for lack of a better word. And I love how at this point you have them putting on these little necklace pendant things, which is awesome. And I love how when Luna tries to put the necklace on Thorax, trying to get it around those antlers, as she's just like struggling. I just found that really funny. And then, of course, Discord just like pops his head off like nothing. It's just like, okay, I'm gonna.
Since I am dead, I can take off my head.
So, but it's funny. People have already tried to say, take that scene with Luna putting, like, struggling to put the necklace around Thorax's antlers, like, take it out of context, and you get something that people should not be thinking of this quickly in this fandom.
Yeah, half the time I always wonder if they do these things on purpose now. I've wondered that since, like, season 5. Nah, since season 4. Season 3 is when they were really self-aware of everything, because they had a bit of time to plan out the episodes at least a little more than they were, as far as being aware of the fandom for season 2, because midway season 2 is really when the show hit its peak stride, at least I think so. Then season 4, that's when they started embracing the memes. Season 5 is when they started coexisting with the memes. And season 6 and 7, as far as I'm concerned, is the show just officially being a meme. And the show was already a meme.
Yeah, pretty much. So at this whole point, they're going through these flashbacks, or not really flashbacks, more of like Twilight's fantasies. And the first one is what if I send Starlight away to the Changeling Hive? And they're going around with Thorax on one side and Starlight on the other. They're like, we need to know how to compromise. I'm wanting to have, Lorbean soup or whatever.
She's
And
like peanut butter
so
jelly
it's like,
sandwiches.
yeah. And it's like, oh no, what shall we do? I'm just like, stop. That is being way too awkward right now. But again, if that's how kids see adults trying to talk down to them, then good on you, Hasbro.
By the way, I just want to say that Hasbro lied to us in those teaser trailers when it showed Starlight and what's his face opening a summoning portal and getting sucked in. I thought that was going to be a plot point, but it was just a ratings trap. MLP has now become clickbait.
Well, at that whole thing, Starlight and Thorax are just like, let's do those together. I'm just like, can't you go to different places to get your food and then come together?
Right now,
That
you
just
know what? You know what? Really thinking about it, except for the part where Twilight's mind went all crazy with the bad things that could happen, I could have seen all three of those scenarios realistically plan out. I almost feel like that those were the three ideas that they that they thought about doing or going with at some point, but then they scrapped them just because they thought it'd be easier to keep Starlight Glimmer on the where the main cast is, but they were like, let's show them what could have been. Because if Starlight Glimmer had moved, it would have been a little too weird just because she wasn't in every episode last season, but for the last 2 seasons, she's been such a driving force of the show. And I guess Trixie's now been upgraded to I don't know about main cast, but at least secondary cast, which is cool. But it's really weird to think how much the show has changed. That the main 6. It's not, in my opinion, I don't think it's because they've done everything that they could possibly do with the main 6, but I also think that the main 6 are developed enough to where, other ponies' stories can be told with them around, because at this point they're all basically, to a decent degree, worldwide celebrities where it's well known that they've saved the world and have had virtually nothing but positive influences, all around Equestria. So, it's kind of interesting to see almost an aftermath of all their world saving, to see like, okay, first 4 seasons are them, rising up, saving the world and all that. Then seasons 5 through 7 is them, kind of being legends, and the war, and it's more the world reacting to them more than them reacting to the world. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And what's really interesting is, during the whole Changeling thing where, Spike and Thorax are doing the compromise thing, Spike says, I don't think Starlight and Thorax should do that. And then Celestia points in, calm down, Spike. There was no wrong way to fantasize. I'm just like, are you talking saucy right now, Celestia? Because in all honesty, that can be taken a million different ways. Just saying. So the second one is where she thinks that what was the second place? I'm forgetting right now. Oh, the Dragonlands. And
yeah, that's right.
She gets sent off to the Dragonlands, and Twilight imagines Starlight and Ember as like these two like bro kind of characters. Like, Starlight, what's up, bro?
Wow. And then she's like, dude, do you want to go on some adventure? She's like, totally. I'm just like, dude, Starlight,
like, whatever, brosif.
Dude, so Starlight and Glimmer need to star in a remake of Dude, Where's My Car? But it could be like it could be like, Philly, Where's My Stagecoach or something, because they only interacted for 2 seconds, but I'm legit. I'm just like, dude, I would watch. Like, if that got a worldwide theatrical release, I would watch that. So after Twilight's done,
real quick though, something I want to point out. In the intro, very little has changed, of course, but when the My Little Pony logo comes up, it's the same colors as the ones they're using for all the promotional material for the movie. So I'm thinking this season, if it doesn't have any gaps, is going to go from now up until a week before the movie in October. And if that's the case, I'm uber hyped.
Yeah, I could see that. Just knowing how the show works and knowing how annoyingly right your theories usually are, yeah, I could buy that.
Yeah. So what were you going to say about Twilight, though?
Yeah, so after Twilight is done, reading online government conspiracy forums and freaking herself out for a while, she decides, you know what? I wish she would have kept doing this. Was it season 4 or 3 where she's just like, remember she kept doing that in the premiere? She was like, she was like, she kept like breathing in and out. I forgot what episode that was. But,
that was on Games Ponies Play.
Games Ponies, yeah. So like, so after she's done freaking herself out, Celestia, which is one of the best parts of this entire show ever, Celestia tells Twilight the tale all about how her life was turned upside down because
they did that as a promotional thing for season 7. I'm just like, I love this show. I really do. But you're missing the whole scene with Starlight and Sunburst, though, because it was the third fantasy Twilight had, and it's like, they're making small little potion things, and then so Twilight's just like, what if she tries to do some really advanced magic without knowing what it does? And they try to create a summoning circle.
Rock and roll!
And I'll tell you this. When I first saw that in promotional material, I'm just like, you know what? I will only be okay with this if it turns out to be something bad. Which it did, number 1. And number 2, it was just a whole little fantasy thing. It wasn't actually something that was happening. But in my thought process, I'm just like, guys, you two are a bunch of freaking idiots if you actually try that. Do you know how much those are portrayed in the media as being bad?
Yeah, because people are a bunch of wimps. No, what needed to happen was that portal needed to open. A monster needed to reach its hand out, and this song needed to start playing while it was eating ponies.
Okay. Is that like Meshuggah or something?
No, it's a band called Deicide. They're from Europe. Well, they're from, I think, Sweden or something.
So, that would have been pretty funny, though. But you see, like, everything being sucked into this portal thing, and I'm just like...
Okay, I'm done.
Like, did you seriously shoot a portal at the moon and just have everything being sucked in?
Easy, Wheatley. So after all that, Twilight's like, my memories are a little fuzzy on this because I watched the first 2 episodes. I've watched the first episode in the morning before I went to work, and then watched the second episode when I got back. So basically what happens is Twilight is like, okay, I've made the decision. Starlight should stay here. So she goes outside, and Discord's got like a boom mic set up. He's dressed like freaking. He's dressed like a cosplayer, cosplaying as a director, cosplaying as Ed Wood. He even hits Twilight's head with the boom, and I'm just like, the fuck is this? So, and Twilight's
I was actually thinking he was looking more like, oh, what is that one director who like is always known to be wearing like hockey jerseys and stuff like that? You know what I'm talking about?
yeah, I do actually.
Don't remember his name though.
I don't either, but I got the image in my head.
He's like a total nerd
Yeah.
dude. But anyway,
Yeah.
he's just like, I may have let it slip that you were unveiling the big thing for Twilight or for Starlight tonight. We're just really all excited. And basically she announces, Starlight, you're able to choose your own path now. There's nothing more I can teach you. And like I was saying in the prediction slash like animatic thing that we had, the trailers, I was just like, on one hand, it doesn't really make sense that they're already going with her graduating, but at the same time, it's just like, yeah, I could actually see that happening anyway, because what is she going to do? Do another magical feat with Chrysalis or something? You know.
I don't know. We'll have to wait for the movie. By the way, I don't know if you brought this up earlier. Did you catch that line that Celestia said about fantasizing?
Yes.
There's when Spike fantasize. Phrasing. I just remembered that right now, and I was like, that was funny.
That's what I was saying earlier. Celestia, you're trying to be saucy, aren't you?
By the way, TV Tropes reminded me of this too, where she's like where Celestia's worrying about all the crap that could happen to Twilight, and she's like, what if she runs into a Manticore, gets pulled to the Tartarus? What if she doesn't get along with any pony? I mean, the last one she doesn't even have to worry about, but the Manticore one happened a day after she goes to Ponyville.
Mm-hmm. What's really funny is though, is I actually saw this comic where it was like tagged under saucy comedy, and it was literally where Chrysalis and Thorax are in a room, and it's just like, you're a changeling, we're still a changeling. I'll let you fill some of those holes if you know what I mean. And then it switches back to Spike going, I don't think they would do that. There's no wrong way to fantasize.
Jesus.
Yeah.
This show sometimes, man, it's gonna be like Samurai Jack and get a continuation on Adult Swim. The first episode is gonna be Twilight getting it's gonna be Twilight bleeding from getting in a fight with a cockatrice or something.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, Starlight, of course, chooses to stay as of right now because Willie, I don't blame her. She doesn't have to leave immediately. It's fine if she wants to stay for a little bit longer. And it's kind of funny because when she says that, I don't want to leave, Twilight just immediately goes back to, I didn't want you to leave either. And it's just like, Twilight, you do all that buildup and suspense only to have her tell you that she wants to stay there. And your reaction is, I wanted the exact opposite that I was saying in the first place.
It's a cartoon. Really? We can, this show is allowed to have some meh writing once in a while. That's literally that's literally my only flaw with the episode writing was just
it felt like it was rushed at the end.
Only slightly, but it did make for a heartwarming scene, and it shows how far Starlight's coming, how much all her friends mean to her and stuff. So it was nice. It served its purpose, and the episode ends with warm, fuzzy, huggy feelings stuff and a one-liner and My Little Pony. So that is the premiere for season 7, and it's weird. It's not that it's hard to compare. It's not that it's hard to compare sorry, it's not that it's not hard to compare this premiere to others. Admittedly, this did feel just like just another episode, which I understand was the point. So if we were comparing it to the other premieres, which again, this isn't my actual score, but if we're comparing it to the premieres of seasons 1 through 6, this would be about a 6. But if we're comparing this to an episode by itself, I give it a 7.5 because, they didn't really go anywhere. Nothing really happened in the grand scheme of things, but it was written nice. The jokes were good. And, and the Celestia thing bumps it up from a 7 to a 7.5 for me because that was great. But it wasn't boring, wasn't even slow, wasn't even bad. It was just another episode, and it felt like another episode, which I think was the point. I think, but yeah, was all right to me.
Mm-hmm. So I actually give it a 7.5 as well because this was a very good, being brought back into the magic of ponies. And I know how cheesy that sounds once I've said it. But it was really nice to be brought back to the wondrous land of Equestria and being able to see these characters again. And had some good moments, had some good laughs. I liked it. So 7.5 from me as well.
Well, all right. Yeah, I guess we'll see you guys for the next episode. This is Snakeskin 94.
And this is John from TheUndercoverBrony. And we will talk to you guys later.
Peace
Peace out, Dragon.
Just follow Treason on Facebook.